Yo, what's going on everyone? Guiding Light here, back with another quick skate video. And today, honestly, I was just kind of having some fun. I've been free roaming a lot lately in the game, trying to find weird spots, crazy gaps, and honestly, just to see if there's any sort of hidden secrets or things that we may be able to do here in Skate 4. Now, today, I was over here trying to honestly mess around with the water, see if maybe there's some way to get into the water, under the water. There's been a few times I've actually glitched underneath the map as well by accident. And overall, I've just been really excited for the future of Skate and want to see everything that this game is truly capable of. Try to think out of the box a little bit. So in today's video, I'm honestly going to just be trying to explore into crazy spots and get out of the map. And I noticed here that this bridge has these little notches in it as if it was meant to be climbed, which I thought was a little weird at first. So the very first thing I'm going to do to try to get out of the map and find the hidden secret spots is actually go and climb this bridge over here. Now, although I only am one person, you can only put down so many objects, which is a real shame. If we were able to get together as a community or as a bunch of people in the same lobby, I'm not really sure because I haven't been able to test it out, but we may be able to actually combine our building capabilities and actually do some pretty crazy stuff. So I've been thinking about trying to get some live streams together, maybe on the weekends when people have more free time, and actually try and get some community build-offs going. So let me know what you guys think about that down in the comments. Now, we're going to start out by putting a few of these panels down here. I'm going to make my way across this bridge, and I'm going to see just how far I'm able to actually get. Now, it's a little tricky at first the way the building works, because if you go to edit objects, your character will fall through them. I was honestly trying to see if I could find some sort of glitch to maybe get my character to float onto one of these boards or something, or do something wild with it, but looks like the developers thought ahead of that. Now, although they did manage to think ahead a bit with a lot of this stuff, I was still able to manage to get my way across. Now, the thing is the more you play this game, the more of these objects you're going to unlock. Luckily, I've unlocked quite a bit already, and I came to find out that the best object to try and get into just about any spot on the map really is the bleachers. Now, for this little example here, I was actually able to make my own little bridge. I was like, you know what? I can get across. I know I can. So I'll make my own little rail bridge. I was able to get all the way across. I'm going to show you guys how I was able to do this. So at first I didn't know if I'd actually be able to make it or if this object was going to just sort of be bugged out when I got there, but it turns out I made myself a little bridge. I was able to get completely across. Now the next challenge was to see if I could get over to this next pillar here and see just how far this game would let me take this. So as you can see here, guys, these objects are not invisible. Like certain other objects in the game, as even in this video I'm going to show you, they seem like they're there, but they're not actually there. Or sometimes they're not going to let you build on them at least because the game doesn't register as like these full solid objects. But either way, guys, as you can see here, that's not the case with this bridge panel here. So there's definitely an extension going to be put into certain parts of the map. They've already talked about this. We've actually already covered this quite a few times. However, as you can see here, I'm a little impatient, so I'm going to be building my own extension here, and we're going to make our way across all the way to the other side. So as you can see here, guys, we were able to put these rails down again. It probably would have been a lot easier with the bleachers, which I'll show you guys later, but I just hadn't realized I even had those objects unlocked. But the best part about finding some of these crazy spots or these suspended spots is if you're like me and you like to kind of go for clips, make these little montage or little movies, these spots can become pretty crazy because once you get out here, you can actually build yourself a little ramp, a little skate pad, and it honestly makes for an amazing cinematic scene when you're going for some of these clips. Or if you ever want to try and like jump off one of the skyscrapers, you've built like a skate park over here. There's like the thing with skate is you really just have to be as creative as possible. And due to the fact that the game's kind of just coming out, there's always going to be more and more things that we kind of figure out or have the idea to do in the future. Now, as you can see here, messing around with some of these objects will cause your character to fall, but after some testing and messing around with it, I was able to get all the way across. So I did the best that I could to try and find some bugs or some weird way out of the map over there. And although you can sort of get out of the map and scale that bridge and make a nice little park up there, it's not completely as far out of the map as we'd like to get. So now I came up to this skyscraper. You guys, I'm sure, have been up here by now. And although this is the highest point in the map that you guys probably have been to, it turns out you can actually get quite a bit higher. And I'm going to try and see just how high up on this map I can really get. And it's actually pretty wild when you get up there because you can really take a good look at the city and see just how much is most likely coming here in the future. So let's make our way all the way up on top of this crane, something you guys may not have realized. So it turns out like building this game is a lot more intense than we had originally thought. And you can pretty much build in the most ridiculous places. Although it's a skating game, it's kind of hard to remember that you actually can build as well, and it really does make for some pretty extreme adventuring and tricks as well. I'm going to show you guys. So after you get up on top of this crane, you can actually get even higher up, and I'm going to show you guys how I was able to do this. So I basically had to build myself a staircase. but I was eventually able to make my way all the way to the top. Now, the thing that's pretty epic about this is that now we have all these ramps in place and we can make our way down using these ramps as well, doing some pretty insane tricks. Now, like I said, guys, I was doing this solo, but I'm sure if you guys got together as a lobby or even just with a few friends, you're going to be able to put extra placements down because you can all get together and sort of build together. But as you guys can see here, this is kind of what I was talking about with those invisible objects. If you jump up here, these objects, the game doesn't really register them. You can literally phase right through them. But luckily, I was able to find a nice little spot that you can latch onto, and we have now officially reached the peak of Skate. Now, this is actually a pretty amazing spot for a lot of different reasons, but you can really take a look around and you can see that those bridges that they've been making, those bridges that are sort of under construction around the map, they almost look to be like they're leading to new islands and new areas that the developers have already confirmed are coming to the game. So we have a pretty epic view here. We can see all the bridges. We can see that there's almost another town over there. You can see that little lighthouse in the distance. And what I thought was interesting is the developers went out of their way to put all of these mountains in the background, and they even made that mountain a snow-capped mountain. Now, this sounds a little crazy, and obviously I'm just speculating here, but you have to think this game is going to be in development for quite a while, and who's to say in a few years that we may even get snow areas of the map and maybe even snowboarding added to the game. Now, I'm going to make a whole entire video going into detail about this, all the things that I would like to see added to Skate, because if you really think about it and you really start to get crazy with the ideas, this game could really turn into quite the epic game. So overall, guys, this is not the highest point I was actually able to get up to. So as you can see here, we're going to get even higher up here in just a second. So it really was not enough for me to get all the way on top of this crane. I had to take it to the next level. So I found the biggest object I have access to right now, and it's these bleachers, and it definitely took some messing around with, but I was able to make myself get even higher up here on the map by attaching a few more of these objects. So the craziest thing about these bleachers when you unlock them is that you can use them as a grab on point, and not only that, but your character can also grind down them as well, so they kind of work as these makeshift ramps. So as you can see here, guys, even though it completely defies gravity, you can, if once they come out with building, I'm gonna honestly think that a lot of people will be using these bleachers to make some pretty epic rock climbing tracks. I really cannot wait for the custom maps to come out. I really do wish they would drop them sooner, but unfortunately, we just gonna have to wait, right? But as you guys can see, this is an absolutely epic spot. And like I was saying, guys, if you could only imagine, you get like 5 more people in the lobby with you. You all start adding builds to this. Now you've got a park up here, and just imagine, honestly, imagine the crazy stuff you could get going on. So if you guys are interested in some of those community lobbies I was thinking about opening up, let me know down in the comments. But overall, guys, I've just been trying to enjoy Skate as much as I can with what we have access to right now. It's every day that I think I've done everything in the game, that I find something epic to do or something cool that I never even thought possible from the day prior. So overall, I'm pretty hyped for the future of Skate and what's going to come here in the future. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.